Okay, hi there. So welcome to Svelte, and this video is for anyone that's coming from like React, Angular, or Vue, just so I can go through concepts a bit quicker. And it's just going to be kind of a shallow overview of the main features of Svelte. Here are 3 reasons to learn it. I like to summarize them as write less code, your user gets less code, and it's more fun to write in Svelte. So I'm going to get started after I show you that I have a Patreon. If you want to contribute, that'd be awesome. I only have 2 Patreons right now. But if you don't want to, that's fine too. If you like or subscribe, that helps a lot. So here I am in the REPL. This just lets you play with Svelte without downloading it to your local. And let's just get started. So this is app.svelte. This is your main component. This is what gets like mounted onto the DOM. And then you can make other components. So a component is just going to be a script tag, a style tag, and your HTML down here. So very simple. 1 component per file, 1 file per component, and it needs to be capitalized. And then to import the component, you do import shape from whatever the path is, shape.svelte, and then you'll be able to use it just like this in whatever component you imported it into. So that's kind of the overview of a component. I'm going to get into the props now. So to define the props that a component can receive, you do export whatever the prop name is. So here I have export lit shape and I have export lit color, and you'll notice that I'm already defining color, and what this does is just gives it a default. So you'll see here background color, border radius, shape equals blah blah blah. So this is how you use your JavaScript in your HTML. So I can just do curly brackets anywhere, and right now I'll just do like shape. So undefined. Right now it's undefined since I haven't passed anything in. So here from shape I can pass in shape equals square. So now it'll be square, but the default is also just square, right? So it didn't change anything. And then I can do color equals, for example, something like blue. Okay, and then it'll be blue. So another thing, I have shape up here defined as circle. So rather than shape equals square, I could pass it a JavaScript variable like shape, so that's circle. And if they have the same names, then I can just delete this, and that'll work as well. Okay, so that's kind of an overview of the props and a component. Another thing you can do is to make a reactive variable. So this is how you define it's kind of weird, but this is how you define a reactive variable. So I'm going to call it shape color, and shape color is going to be shape plus color. And then down here, rather than shape, I'm going to do shape color. So shape color, it says, is not defined. I need to capitalize that. Okay, so circle blue. So that's my shape color. But let's say I have a function that updates the shape. So shape equals green. So this function called change color is going to set shape to green. And let's say I have a button down here. So I can just get into this now. So button on click, that's how you do an on click. But this can be anything. It could be on change, on input, if you have an input, or any event you can put like that, on whatever. So on click, I'm going to run change color. Okay, hi. Okay, so now when I click it, it goes from, what did I do wrong? Not shape, color. Okay, so it goes to green, and you'll see this gets updated as well. So shape color equals this. So if this, for example, if this were not a reactive one, but shape color equals shape plus color, then it says circle blue, and it's always going to say circle blue because it's just defined here, and then it stays like that. It forgets that it's based off of these two. So by doing this, it reminds it, oh, you're based off of these two, so if these things ever change, then change this as well. So that's a cool little feature. Okay, so I already got into this here. On click, let me show you another thing you could do. So you could do input, and on input, you could change color like that. So whenever I input, then it changes the color to green. And also, I another thing you can do is bind values. So bind, so I'm going to bind the value attribute of input to, not to change color because that's a function, I'm going to bind it to color. Okay, so now it says blue, and I can change this to green, and it'll turn green. I could do red. I could do peach puff, and it'll be whatever color I put in there. So that's bind. Okay, so I'm going to get into the, let me delete this. I'm going to get into the templating syntax, and we don't really need this. Well, I guess I'll keep it. So like in React, you might have your JSX and you'll have like a for each function in JavaScript or something. Here we have if statements like this. So if, let's say if show equal false. So if show, then it's going to show it. Otherwise, so else, no shape. And then to end it, you do it like this. So this might be kind of weird, but whenever you open a tag, it's with hashtag. Anything that's between the two outer tags is going to have colon, and then this is going to have, to close it, it's going to have an if. So now if show is true, then it would show. Okay, so that is if statements. Another thing is each. So I've got my colors here, olive coral, and everyone's favorite, medium spring green. At each, so, or hashtag each color, I'm not a big fan of this, but hashtag each color, or sorry, colors as color. And then to end it, it's like that, each. And then I'll put my shape. So shape, color equals color. So I can just do this since they have the same name. Okay, so I got my olive, coral, and my beautiful medium spring green. So that's how you do the for loop like that. And then there's also, for example, if I have some HTML like this as a string, let HTML equal b hi b, and I want to put that out here, the HTML, it's going to be just as a text string. So by doing that, it'll interpret it as HTML. Okay, let's see how we're doing. So we have if, each, await. Await, basically, you'll have this tag and it'll await a promise and show something while it's waiting, and once it resolves, it'll show something else. And we also went through component directives on bind. I'm just going to do slots now. So let's say I have a shape and I want to put something inside that shape by doing this. So right now if I say hi there, it's not going to do anything, but I can put a slot in here, right there, and now hi there will be taken in. So I can put whatever, like if I want to make it italicized, right, I can put anything inside there now as HTML. And this slot, if I wanted this to be below it, then I could just put this slot above it and whatever. Okay, so that's kind of the overview of the basic features of Svelte. I'm just kind of skipping some of these. So slot, you can also have name slots if you want multiple slots. You can put a component inside itself with Svelte self. You can have dynamic components that change the component with Svelte component. And then you can put stuff in like window, body, and head from your component with those, some options. Okay, so these other things are a bit more advanced stuff. We've got runtime. Maybe right now I will download. So one way to get your, well, actually, I'm just going to stop there for now. That's kind of the first part. I'll make a second part.